Good morning. Having breakfast, man. Gonna drop some for you guys. Office is being utilized this morning, so um, obviously we got to talk about it. Also, want to bring up a couple of more points. First and foremost, congratulations to Matthew Stafford and Ashawn Robinson for winning the division first, and now winning Matthew Stafford's first playoff game. Something that, I've been trying to pound at people's heads for a long time. That, Matthew Stafford could win you playoff games, but you have to at least meet him halfway. And last night was the most halfway game that I've ever seen Matthew Stafford play in. And that's over, 12 years? That's ridiculous. So for a franchise to, not give you the correct parts to do what you need to do. And what I mean by the correct parts is, one thing that us Lions fans, we're so used to the misery and looking for someone to blame. We don't pay attention to, the way that football works. We've seen some of the greatest in this league, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, win playoff games and Super Bowls simply on the shoulders of his defense. Y'all remember the Seahawks game? So, we've seen this thing with other quarterbacks, but when it always came to Matthew Stafford, it goes out the window. And I never understood that with a lot of the Detroit fans, even though we openly got screwed in playoff situations. Screwed. Still, this hate, it's almost a sickness. So, with that said, the Rams last night, they came out, running the football, Odell Beckham Jr. touchdown, and Matthew Stafford ran in a touchdown on the goal line. They were marching, but at the same time, the defense showed up as well. So like I said, you don't have to be great. Just be good throughout the football team. Solid pass protection, something that you never seen here in Detroit with him. We have it now, all of a sudden. Ain't so ironic. Running game, number 2, something that we just never consistently had here. 95 yards just from Akers alone last night. So, and the defense showed up. Created a turnover in the end zone. Kyler Murray got exposed. I told y'all that guys, Kyler Murray and Tua, just they weren't it to me, simply because of the size. And Kyler Murray was struggling last night. Plus, they was getting pressure on him. It didn't make it even better. It didn't make it any better. So, but Kyler Murray and the Cardinals got exposed for being a fraud that we all thought they were when we faced them. We all brought up them being a fraud, and they are. And obviously, missing their top wide receiver, that helps. But I don't think you would have been able to do much because that pressure was coming. And we haven't seen anything like that on the quarters of Matthew Stafford since 2014. 1 year out of his entire tenure here in Detroit, we had a decent team. We had a solid defense. The offensive line was manageable. I'm not going to say they were decent or good. But we've seen that for 1 year, and even with those guys, they were banged up, and plus the depth wasn't worth anything. So I'm saying on that team. So, I have a hard time walking up to somebody and telling them to give you a solid depth player on that team. They probably look at you like, what are you talking about? So, but this is the example. When you have a good team, and this is what Lions fans don't understand. We're not used to this. There's other facets of the game that helps you win. That's helped these quarterbacks over the years win. The game should not have to be on your quarterback's shoulders, is what I'm saying to you. That is the difference, and that is what you are missing. You're so used to seeing Matthew Stafford throwing 80,000 passes. You see how many passes he threw last night? 3 touchdowns. Didn't have to throw a gazillion passes. Your quarterback should not have to do that. The other parts of the team need to show up. So when you put in all of that and you riding on a guy's shoulders, guess what's going to happen? Turnovers, desperate passes, illegitimate passes, especially under pressure. Do we got to go for down year to year and point out how this man has been in top three and getting getting sacked and pressured his entire tenure here? So, yeah, it's like I said, it's just a touchy situation for me because obviously, as a Lions fan, you want to improve your draft pick. But with this scenario and what's been going on in the city and the way that Detroit fans act, I'm actually glad to see him finally get it done. Because they just, these know-it-alls that never touched the football, that never played football, these know-it-alls, you know what I'm saying? They are so annoying. They are so annoying. They try to find their little bony fingers and point to something. And that guy most consistently was Matthew Stafford. So to throw it all on him was ridiculous in the first place. We all know that the Lions organization literally is the organization, not the fan base, but the organization literally is one of the worst organizations in the league. And we've heard that from past players. We've heard that from outside of the Detroit Lions. If you pay attention close enough, you'll see it. You'll see it. So they just have not got the job done. They've brung absolute clowns in here. They've made the most stupid decisions. Like I said, the fortune that the Lions have literally is all on them. You know what I'm saying? It's all on them, man. It's on that management team, man. It's on the ownership. So I never was a fan of placing everything on the players all the time. A lot of these players drafted being put in bad situations. We've seen multiple Hall of Famers, potentially about to see another Hall of Famer because they go to the Super Bowl and win it or go to the Super Bowl period. Matthew Stafford most likely probably be a Hall of Famer. But 3 Hall of Famers, 3 of them, 2 of them quit on you early. Like, what more do you need? What more do you need to see? 2 of them quit on you early. 2 of them. So, like I said, the message was never to just be right about anything. We still got some work to do, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to our own franchise. But the Rams get it. They get it over there. And that's why I'm glad to have, Brad Holmes over here. Because it's looking like for the first time in my entire fandom of the Detroit Lions that they're doing these things right. They're making the right moves. This draft has so much on it. It's unbelievable. It is everything. This is everything. This draft is everything. Draft and free agency is going to tell me everything I need to know. Are we the same old Lions? Or are we turning a different page and finally heading on the true right path, which I truly do believe today? We'll see, man. We will absolutely see. And, like I said, we'll continue to watch this thing. The Rams go up against the Tampa Bay Bucks. I never look into what a team did earlier in the season. Like I said, this is a whole different scenario. This is Tom Brady in the playoffs we're talking about here. Of course, he's not the sharpest, that he used to be. But it's the playoffs and it's Tom Brady. You never want to go against that. So I still think the Bucks, have a chance to win. But if the Rams are going to play the way they should play and the way I know they can play, it's going to be tough for the Bucks. So my pick to win between those two is the Rams. Simply because those acquisitions that they made are showing up when they need to show up. It's the playoffs. OBJ is going to show up. Obviously, he wasn't the problem in Cleveland when everybody in the world was, saying that it was him. Funny how that works too. But then Von Miller, making plays now. It's the playoffs. So, we know how football goes. It's a whole different scenario in the playoffs. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, congratulations to Matthew Stafford for winning his first playoff game. And we'll see how far this thing goes. But like I said, this video is not just to prove a point, but I just want y'all to understand what my stance is and why, I've always defended the fact that it wasn't all Matthew Stafford's fault. He did play a part in it at times, but when you have a solid team, you're entitled to making some of those mistakes. Some of these great quarterbacks do it all the time, but you never notice it because they come out on the other end with victories. Us as Lions fans, we magnify everything because we're so used to finding a way to lose. So that's the difference. With that said, you guys enjoy your day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my breakfast here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.